2017, Russia, the year the most watched rap battle in the world was released, Oxymoron vs Noni. In just the first 24 hours, the video gained more than 10 million views. Before the original video was taken down, its total view count exceeded 55 million. The battle was talked about everywhere. On social media, in independent outlets, and even on state TV. Even in the United States, the birthplace of battle rap, numbers like this were unattainable. The irony is that the most popular American rap battle in history is also connected to Oxymoron. The scale was so unexpected that even English language media, including The Times, wrote about the event. Almost a year before the battle, Yuri Dudь, Russia's most famous interviewer, made an interview with Alexander Restorator, one of the founders of Versus, Russia's most influential battle rap platform. It was in this conversation that the upcoming battle was discussed publicly for the first time.
Понимаешь, что в процессе подготовки к Олимпийскому Оксимирон придет к тебе на какой-нибудь мощнейший батл.
А когда у него Олимпийский?
В октябре или в ноябре. Ну, осенью.
Слушай, не исключено, что батл с Гнойным мы до этого успеем снять. То есть договоренность.
Когда будет батл с Гнойным?
Хуй знает.
In 2015, rap became one of the most dominant genres in Russia, and this battle didn't just follow the trend, it went far beyond it. But why did such a niche, underground phenomenon gain so much influence? Was this battle prophetic? What happened to its participants? And most importantly, did it kill battle rap culture in Russia, or was it its final greatest moment? To begin with, we need to understand the main figures involved and the conflict between them. The first is the rapper Oxymoron.
Это Оксимирон из Лондона, специально для Optic Russia. Слушайте рифмы.
His real name is Miron Fedor. He was born in St. Petersburg in 1985. His family belonged to the Jewish intelligentsia. His father was a physicist and his mother worked as a librarian. When Miron was 9, his family moved to Germany after his father got a job there. At 15, he moved again, this time to London. His teenage years were difficult. Constant relocations, a sense of loneliness, and the absence of any feeling of home. Rap became his escape, and later, British grime. He began writing and performing rap at around 13. Despite all these difficulties, he was a fairly intelligent student. And on the recommendation of one of his teachers, after finishing school in London, Miron was admitted to Oxford University. I'm not joking. Yes, a rapper with an Oxford degree, not what you'd normally expect from a rapper. He graduated from Oxford with a degree in, wait for it, medieval English literature. I'm sure this is how he felt at the time. And the irony is that this elite education, particularly, I repeat, his degree in medieval English literature, offered almost no clear career path. It sounds so logical that he had no success in it. As a result, Oxymoron lived almost entirely through rap, trying to make it in music, while surviving on low-paying jobs.
Пока мои треки вовсюду не выгоняли, увольнялся отовсюду, откуда не выгоняли.
During those years, Miron was an active participant in online rap battles. The format was different from the traditional live battles. Participants recorded full rounds, essentially diss tracks, and uploaded them to a dedicated website. That's where his first real fame came from. At first, he was signed to the major label, Optic Russia, and later he formed the rap duo Vagabund together with the rapper Shock. That's when his rapid rise began. Vagabund was protest music, they dissed everyone and were against everyone. I won't go into the history of the duo in detail in this video, and in general, Oxymoron deserves a separate video of his own. Trust me, there is a lot to tell about. Eventually, due to a conflict, the duo broke up. Despite their short history, Vagabund had a huge influence on Russian rap, especially on its lyrical side. Miron became one of the first artists to obsess over writing itself, double rhymes, complex schemes, and literary techniques.
Второй альбом будет эталон, либо в это, но с головой ты говно, либо гений среднего нет, да ну. Книги делятся мнением, мнения сеют сомнения, от сомнения лень, от лени веет забвением.
At At the same time, his influence on Russia's battle rap culture cannot be ignored. Oxymoron didn't limit himself to online battles. He also took part in offline battles and helped launch what would become the country's first and later largest battle rap platform, Versus. Before the channel was taken down, the very first video on Versus was an Oxymoron battle.
Меня зовут Оксимирон, и я алкоголик.
While online battles initially made him known mainly locally online and in immigrant circles in London, Versus and offline battles pushed him into rapid nationwide recognition. For example, here is one of the coolest moments.
Уши не зашили ты в этом деле. Сначала движи, гроши мы были бедны. Лоноград из андеграунда на экран. От камер наблюдения до кинокамер до крана. От окраины и локального хайпа бытловика из Грин-парка и Кеннингтауна с майком и на века. Сука!
In 2015, he released his second album, Gorgorod. It was the conceptual album. Its conceptual nature lies in a single narrative that runs through all the tracks. If by that point Oxymoron was already a well-known and respected artist, then after Gorgorod he became truly mainstream and firmly rose to the very top of Russian rap. The second participant is Vyacheslav Mashnov, also known as Oh My God, Gnoiny, Slava KPSS, Sonia Marmeladova, Valentin Dyadka, Varovskaya Lapa, Buterbrodsky, and these are only his most well-known aliases. How many fucking names does this dude need? I'll spend less time on Slava to highlight the contrast between him and Oxymoron at that point in time. He was born in 1990 in Khabarovsk, a battle rapper, a postmodernist, and one of the founders of the music collective Anti-Hype. Anti-Hype is a separate topic worthy of its own video, but briefly, Anti-Hype is the most post-ironic community in Russia. They define themselves in opposition to mainstream rap and deliberately blurred the line between joke and sincerity. In practice, their only real goal was fun and mocking everyone. In the West, some of the most well-known post-ironic figures are Nathan Fielder or Sam Hyde. In Russia, that role belongs to Anti-Hype, and Slava in particular. At that time, as one of Anti-Hype's founders and members, Slava remained a strictly underground artist. If he was known at all during those years, it was primarily as one of the strongest battle rappers in the country and as the champion of another major battle rap platform, Slovo SPB. In some ways, Slava was in the same position Miron had once been in while living in England. A local scene, a tight circle, and no mass recognition. It was from this position that Slava spoke out against Miron, one of the leading rappers on the Russian scene, and he did it constantly. Mentions in tracks, in battles, on social media, almost always in negative context. Eventually, all of this led to a direct diss during one of his battles.
Блять, твой ебаный Оксимирон. Что стоит мнение этой мессии? Если он говорит, что любит клевые батлы, но так и ни разу не был на лучшей батловой площадке в России. Еще раз, блять, сука, что значит мнение этой жадной до хайпа свиньи, если он говорит, что любит клевые батлы, но так и ни разу не батлился с Battle MC, СТ, Джонни Бой, Дуня, фанбой Оксаны Внемли. Я здесь иврит преподать. Фраза «когда мне это будет выгодно» переводится как «тогда, когда я не смогу проебать».
Up until that point, Miron had treated Slava with respect.
Это ирония судьбы. Не правда ли удивительно? Прежде чем кого-то батлить, я сначала должен хвалить его.
But he could no longer ignore it. That's why the battle didn't start as a response. It started as a challenge. Oxymoron challenged Gnoiny himself. I want to emphasize this once again. In 2017, Oxymoron was one of the most influential figures in Russian rap, comparable to Eminem or Dr. Dre in terms of cultural weight, which makes what happened next extraordinary. A figure of that scale personally challenged someone who, at the time, was still unknown to the mainstream. This battle took place on the Versus, but Gnoiny represented his own league, Slovo SPB. At the time, getting onto Versus was practically a golden ticket. It was incredibly difficult to get there. However, Versus didn't really produce powerful MCs. It was closer to stand-up comedy than to pure battle rap. Slovo SPB, which literally stands for Word St. Petersburg, was far more text-driven, and it produced the strongest battle rappers in the country, including Slava. And here's the key moment. Slava dissed Miron on a versus stage, essentially on Miron's own territory. For anyone who understood the scene, this raised the stakes dramatically. Both rappers weren't just defending themselves. In some way, they were defending the reputation of their entire platforms. I won't go through the battle line by line. Instead, I'll focus on the main arguments, accusations, and key moments. Unfortunately, the original channel and the battle itself were taken down several years ago. Only reploads remain. On YouTube, there are only few reactions from American viewers, left with English subtitles. I will leave a link in the description, so if you really want to watch it, this is essentially the only option. Let's start with Oxymoron's rounds. They can be roughly divided into 3 themes. The first round is about battles as post-truth. There is no objectivity. Overall, it's slight mockery of Slava.
Батлы по фактам. Подарок для любителей врать. Какая правда? Важно лишь убедительно подать. Если будешь копать зашквары в мусоре копаясь, то представляешь не слово, а подслушано Хабаровск.
The second round is a diss aimed at the slow SPB platform, at his own platform versus, and at the hypocrisy of anti-hype at battle rap culture.
Доги батл рэпа, нет, вы снобы без лаве. Зашквар. Бодро начав полгода, как скатился в полный кошмар. Утешай себя тем, что за вами подземка и что вы снова на коне. Но я в роли НТВ. Кто здесь хочет всю подноготную про слово СПБ?
The third round is based on Joseph Campbell's book The Hero with a Thousand Faces. Oxymoron, let me remind you, top figure of Russian rap, portrays himself as a hero. Slava, meanwhile, is depicted as a hollow antagonist, simply standing in his way.
Только антагониста. И в этом трагедия Славы Машнова, Карелина, дальше по списку. Ты не антигерой, ты вообще не герой. Вызываешь сопереживание 0.
Personally, I like this round, especially over the beat. In a way, it works, but overall, it feels strange. Rich, successful Oxymoron sees himself as a hero at the beginning of the journey, even though he has already achieved everything and won the rap game. Slava, on the contrary, looks more like the hero. His position and niche status make him more interesting dramatically. If we evaluate the rounds as a whole, they are about everything except Slava. Instead of landing direct punches on Slava, he keeps talking about himself. His text is beautifully written, very literary, especially the Campbell-inspired part. He doesn't even use profanity. For me, this is a missed opportunity. In a battle, profanity adds weight and emotional force to words. In my opinion, Miron started the battle confident that the victory would be easy, but after Slava's first round, everything changed. You can see him getting nervous. He keeps touching Slava and swaying.
Мирон трогал тебя за баттл 56 раз. 56. Пиздец. 58? Ну, в общем, от 56 до 58 раз аналитика.
And I will spoil it. Oxymoron lost 5-0. And the main reason was the lack of punches. Unlike Oxymoron, Slava completely dismantled him, even though I don't agree with some of his points. His rounds can also be divided into 3 themes. Round 1 critiques Oxymoron as an artist and songwriter. He takes aim at the album Gorgoroth, arguing it's less music and more an audio book with a weak narrative, and claims that Miron's lyricism is lacking.
Знаю, что как творец ты умер, и не заслуживая славы культового рэп-певца, я не признаю твои заслуги, поэтому, когда читаю, я напоминаю тебе отца.
The second round analyzes Oxymoron as a battle rapper. Slava shows that he doesn't understand the state of battle culture. Here, he also mentions the phenomenon of post-truth.
Баттл — территория постправды. Тут не важно, какой факт настоящий, так какие личности, долбоеб, тут решает количество панчей. Твоя борьба за развитие — пустые слова. Ты ни разу не был на сторонней тусе. Откуда тебе знать, что культура жива, если ты не держишь руку на пульсе?
The third round focuses on Oxymoron's personality and actions. The difference between them, both lyrically and physically, is obvious. Just look at nearly 2 meters tall Slava and the way he delivers. With his aggression, even the weakest punches land with impact. Through his bars, Slava clearly establishes his position, why Oxymoron is a bad person and a bad rapper, and that is exactly what a battle requires.
В батле ты забываешь про оппонента, то в гостях у бабы, наверное, дрочишь у туалета. А когда она говорит: Мирон, может, переместимся на мое лобное место? Отвечаешь: я не трахаюсь с тобой, а пытаюсь перепрыгнуть свои достижения из прошлого секса.
It's hard to say Slava was right about everything, or that his writing is flawless, but the victory in the battle was undeniable. But after the battle, people debated who had won. From the perspective of the battle itself, Slava was a clear winner, but looking at the events that followed, the impression can change. Oxymoron literally predicted the collapse of Slovo SPB and partially foresaw Slava's future. Slava struggled for a long time to shake off the image of a troll and a one-hit wonder, because the battle and victory gave him an incredible media boost. After the battle, he even managed to get on the jury of some TV show like The Voice. That was very funny and became a true provocateur, but ultimately established himself as one of the strongest lyricists in Russian rap. Oxymoron, after his defeat, filled the Olympic Stadium, the largest concert hall in Russia, with over 20,000 people, setting a record. He then went on to defeat Disaster, an American battle rapper, and he was only able to beat him because the loss to Slava exposed his main weakness, lack of punches. Many say this battle killed battle rap in Russia, but in my view, battle rap simply was reborn. Those views and that level of hype have never been seen again and never will be. All the major platforms of that time closed, but new ones appeared. A cappella battles, they were always a niche genre and didn't disappear. They just had never experienced such a major media event. Battle rap continues in Russia today. Some of it even gets solid viewership. Currently, BPM battles are trending, and that's not bad. After so many years, it is obvious that this is not the strongest and the best battle ever, but the Oxymoron vs Gnoiny battle will forever remain in history, because it was a part of that other Russia, and it was a true.
Историческая хуйня.
If you watched this video all the way to the end, subscribe to the channel and give it a like. In the future, more videos about Russian culture are coming. Mike Propel, more to come.